Addiction never affects just the addict. It affects all of us. Recovering from addiction and alcoholism is also a life-changing battle for families dealing with a loved one's addiction. Numerous programs support addicts as they reclaim their lives, while their families face their own challenges without the same guidance. You're listening to Voices in Courage with K.L. Wells, where we transform the lives of the families and loved ones of addicts and alcoholics from surviving to thriving in the midst of chaos. Tune in as we highlight vulnerable stories of families who have addicted relatives and friends and learn how they have dealt with the challenges of isolation, desperation, and shame. If you are seeking ways to live your best life, then we welcome you into this safe space. Be a part of change today with your host, K.L. Wells.
Good morning. This is K.L. Wells here. Actually, what I wanted to talk about today is anger. And I know there were moments where I was really angry at this disease. And I was really angry. I had those moments when I was really angry at my son. They didn't last very long, I will say, thank goodness. But I know that there's a lot of us out there that are dealing with this disease and love people who have substance abuse disorder and are just really angry about it. And one of the things I was listening to the other day, because I'm always listening to a podcast or reading a book, or I'm in continuous learning mode every single day. And one of the things that I heard was the research has shown that 5 minutes of anger suppresses your immune system for the next 3 hours. 5 minutes of anger suppresses your immune system for 3 hours. So if you're like 10 minutes of angry, that's 6 hours. If you're 15 minutes of angry, that's 9 hours of suppressed immune system. And there are some people that kind of live in this space of anger a lot of the time. And so not only, obviously, it's not good for you. It suppresses your immune system. It makes you more vulnerable to diseases and all the things that will take us out. And I chose a long time ago that I wanted to be healthy and whole and thriving in the midst of this journey with my son and my own journey. And in order to do that, I really needed to take a hold of and be more in control of my own emotions. And when I say that, I'm not saying like ignore them or stuff them. I'm saying release them quickly and move through them quickly so that they don't hold you captive for an extended period of time. And so developing those skill sets to recognize what am I feeling in this moment, whether it's angry or frustrated or irritated or seething or whatever that is, because, your loved one is sitting in front of you at dinner and you can tell they're high and just makes you mad. So if you can just kind of step back from that a little bit, just the awareness is first and foremost. But once you have that awareness, is step back from it and realize, okay, and ask yourself the question, how is this anger serving me? How is this anger serving you? And the other piece of that is, how is this anger serving the wellness of my loved one? Because I can guarantee you that your being angry with them is a failed strategy in terms of getting them to change, and actually may drive them deeper into their addiction. And I know that's a provocative thing to say, but what I'm going to say is when people are in addiction and they have somebody who's angry with them, blaming them, shaming them, guilting them, trying to get them to do something different, they already have plenty of shame. They already have plenty of beating themselves up. They already have plenty of trauma that they're already dealing with. And it just confirms for them that notion that I'm no good, I'm worthless, I don't matter. And that in no way, shape, or form will ever serve their recovery. So I'm going to come back to you again and me in having the conversation around, okay, what actually is healthy anger? Because there are times when we have every right and we should give ourselves permission to actually feel the anger and to be angry about certain things. When they have stolen your grandmother's jewelry and sold it so that they can get their next fix, that pissed me off. It's just, would it change the outcome? No. Would it change anything? No. And the only thing it would do would be to hurt me. And so I was like, okay, I'm pissed and I need to go run. I need to go chop wood. I need to go work out and throw some weights around in the weight room. I need to go physically change my body and change, because anger has a physicality to it. So in order to get out of it, go change your body, shift it, go for a walk, stand up, do standing, squats just with your body weight, change it up, go get some music that's uplifting and powerful in that way. Change your body and your physicality out of anger and into a place where you can make much better decisions, because anger is residing from a brainstem perspective from a brain science perspective in your brainstem, which is the place where we don't make good decisions. We aren't clear about what's going on. We're in fight, flight, or freeze. And so paying attention to, when you get angry, are you fighting? Are you fleeing? Are you freezing? What's actually going on? What's your next behavior piece that goes with the emotion of anger? And the best thing to do is change your physicality first, and then ask yourself the question to change your thought is this serving me? Is this serving me? And if you haven't gotten through the other side of the anger, do what you need to do, to work through it. Instead of stuffing it, express it, let it go. It's an energy. And that's why the physical thing is really, really important. And then think about, okay, what is it that I most want to create for myself in terms of emotion? What are the thoughts that I really most want to have? And so let's just take the example of taking grandma's jewelry and selling it, and it'll never be seen again. And so although I still every once in a while think about that, I only think about it as a thing that happened. I don't think about it as, sometimes it's like a little bit like maybe a little bit of sadness that is gone. And then I'm like, okay, so how does that help me? And it doesn't. And bringing it up again and again and again with your loved one who is dealing with substance abuse disorder only drives them farther and farther and farther away from you. So you're not going to get a different outcome. And recognizing that when people are in substance abuse disorder, they're in desperation. And right now we're in a fentanyl period because heroin's been sucked up off the market. And fentanyl is a drug in which people need to get a fix about every hour. So it absorbs their life, because you're either getting it, taking it, or trying to get it again. And they will do anything to avoid the pain of not having that drug. And it's just part of the disease, is lying, stealing, doing things that you thought your loved one would never do in a million years. And when they're clean and sober, they would never do in a million years. So I think just getting clear mentally and emotionally about how this disease presents itself, what kind of things are possible in terms of what people do. And that was really helpful for me to understand that the patterns that go with this disease, the patterns of behavior that go with this disease, are things that you don't recognize in your loved one, like, breaking down doors or kicking through walls or throwing things, or just tirades, verbal tirades. These aren't things, generally speaking, that our loved ones do when they're clean and sober and they're back to themselves. The addict has almost hijacked your loved one, and it's the addict's behavior, the patterns of their behavior, that it's important to get a hold of. And so just recognizing those patterns and knowing what those patterns are was really, really helpful for me. It was like, oh, okay, all of these things, the lying, the denying, the saying I'm going to be someplace, or I'm going to call and not showing up, or not calling, the calling really early in the morning and saying, I've run out of gas, I'm on the highway, I don't have another way to get home, or my electricity has been shut off, my gas has been shut off, my water's been shut off. All of those things are just part of the disease, and they're patterns. And they are ways for your loved one to access money so they can access their next fix. And just getting clear about that with no emotion attached to it, because the emotion absolutely is a failed strategy and doesn't help in any way, shape, or form. So I think that would be, what I would think about today. And if you are caught in the loop of anger, I would really encourage you to reach out and find some help along the lines to be able to break that pattern, because that anger, the only thing it's doing for you is deteriorating your health, deteriorating your mind, deteriorating your emotions, deteriorating your spirit. And then you're not going to be there for your loved one if and when they come out the other side of this disease. And I want you to choose to be there. I want you to choose to get a handle on and recognize when you are starting to seethe, starting to build towards anger, and actually to pay attention to your own pattern around anger. Because what generally happens is we start to get angry because we've been activated by something that somebody's done. And like when somebody cuts you off in traffic, will they ever know that you got angry? And how does it serve? It only hurts you, because most of the time they're never going to know, and it wouldn't matter anyway. So change it, work with it, release it, express it, and move on. And fill it with, okay, and this is what I've done, and I've trained myself, and I continue to train myself, is somebody cuts me off in traffic, and I go, whoa, they're having a bad day. I'm having a great day. So I just kind of change it up in my own mind, and I bless them and release them. And I hope that their day gets better. And that's just a skill set. That's all it is. Because I want to feel good. I want to live more in a happy place. I want to live more in gratitude. I want to live more in just the joy of my life. Because despite my son dealing with addiction and it being heartbreaking at times, and it being maddening at times, and it being frustrating at times, and it being desperate at times, and all of it, I have a great, great, great life. And those moments of anger, desperation, heartache, I've only given them the power of a moment. I'm not ever going to give them the power of an hour or a day or a week anymore. And in order to do that, there's a pattern out of it, which is change your physicality. Change your physicality. Move the anger, frustration, desperation, heartbreak out of your physicality. Change your thoughts. Flip to, is there anything, a question, is there anything that I can do about this situation that's going to make it any different for yourself? And the vast majority of the time, that answer is no. I cannot change my son. I can love my son through his journey. I can care about him until the day we're all gone. But it's his journey to go. It's his to do. And nothing that I do is going to change the outcome of this situation in so many ways. So love him and release him. Love him and release him. And love yourself enough to release the anger, the frustration, the heartbreak, the desperation. And then flip to, okay, what am I grateful for? Get me grounded right now. What am I grateful for? I'm grateful I have a home over my head, a roof over my head. I'm grateful for the food that I get to eat. I'm grateful for the love that I have in my life, my wife, my friends, my family, my best friend, the people that I get to work with. I'm grateful for air. I'm grateful for, so many things. Stacking that gratitude helps move you in the direction of living a more grateful, joyful life. And then you are better prepared to kind of, well, certainly be there and catch them on the other side of their addiction journey. So recognize your pattern, be aware, shift your physicality, change your mindset, and then change how you talk about it. I had a moment, totally ticked me off, really got angry, and I worked to release it, to let it move through me and get back to centered, and shifted out of the cortisol wash that goes through your body, which is just deteriorating your body, and getting back to better hormones, the happy hormones. So I realize that what I'm talking about, and what I would say is the most hopeful thing about what I'm talking about, is that it's a skill set to perfect. And I'm still working on it. And I will continue to work on it. And I'm getting better, and I'm making progress. And that's success. And so as you get better at this skill set, and as you make progress, know in every fiber of your being that you are making progress and success is happening. And stop judging yourself based on other people. Please stop. This is your journey. And then I would strongly encourage you to start listening to some podcasts that exemplify this whole notion of how we work with our emotions, how we work with our mindsets, how we work with our heart sets, and how we work with our spirituality. And there are so many great podcasts out there. Oprah Winfrey's Soul Sunday, and Ed Millett is a great one that I get to listen to too. Tony Robbins shows up every once in a while on a number of fronts, and just search and find the ones that resonate with you, and the books that resonate with you, that keep you in the space of better understanding your patterns, your addict's patterns, and then being choiceful about the pattern that you absolutely want to create. So I give you that as a gift today. I ask you to practice, to play with it, to see if you get better results. And I wish you a great journey. And I know it's unfolding, and my heart is with you as you walk this path. So until next month, take really, really good care of yourself. Love you. Bye.
Thank you for joining us in this episode. We hope this discussion gives you the empowerment you need during these challenging times. Remember, there is always light after darkness. For more inspiring conversations like this one, subscribe to the show at voicesencouraged.com/podcast. We encourage you to share with your friends and family going through similar situations so we can continue to build a strong community of hope and possibility. Start your life-changing journey today. Join our community at voicesencouraged.com.